What is up, my nerd family, and welcome to Gamesymaspod, the podcast where we talk about all things video games, board games, and pop culture. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at Dinosaur Island, or for some, Dino Island. Another fun board game I have that I love to talk about and share with you guys. And today we're going to look at a little bit into it and the mechanics and how you play it. And at the very end, we're going to conclude to see if this game is a top shelf or a yard sale game. So we're going to find out. We're going to ask the questions, the hard-hitting questions, to see if this game is worthy to be on your top shelf or if it's going to be found on your neighbor's weekly yard sale down the street. Again, that's not a place that you want to find a board game. So join me as we ask these questions. We look deeper into this game a little bit, and we'll find out what's going on with this game. Is it top shelf or is it yard sale? So pull up a chair, guys, grab some dice y acompáñenme a jugar. Guys, if you want to look a little bit deeper into this game, I actually did a first time ever, I did like a playthrough kind of instructional video of how to play Dinosaur Island or Dino Island. And I'll post a link on there on the description of us playing this game, diving deeper into this game, and kind of showing you step by step how to play. I didn't go super deep into the rules, and bear in mind, with you when if you guys end up watching this video, that I was a bit nervous because it was my first time. I don't know why I was nervous to do like an instructional video, because I wanted to get it right. I wanted to get it like correct, but also I didn't want to do like a 40-minute, 50-minute like video explaining every single detail. I wanted to kind of give you the basics to get you guys running, and then if you had more questions, you could look at the rule book or check out some other videos that have more detailed instructions on how to play the game. I just wanted to give you kind of like a relaxed kind of setting. So I was a bit nervous. I was kind of rambling, but I tried my very best to give you guys a little bit of an instructional video. So go check out that video, guys, and let me know what you think. And I'm looking forward to doing some more of those instructional videos, diving deep. I'm trying to make them like 20 minutes or less, but I know some of these board games, you can't really explain a game in 20 minutes or less sometimes because of so much of the stuff that's going on. So I'm trying my best. I know there's a bunch of other people that do like these how to play games. And there's a bunch of channels you guys could check out. They're awesome. They've been doing this for longer than I have, and they'll be able to guide you correctly. I just thought I'd give my little 2 cents into this big pond world of board gaming instructional videos. So go check that out, guys. If you guys want to get in touch with us, give us a follow. We're on all socials. We're on Twitch, we are on Twitch actually. Sorry. So we have a gaming channel on Twitch. Called Los Sad Boys. We try to game almost every Saturday. We're doing like an Elden Ring run, trying to get on that Elden Ring run. We play with Scott and Omar, the Sad Boys. We try to play every Saturday. So you can find us on Twitch. We're on there. We're also on socials, guys. You can find us on socials. We're on X, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can find us there at Gamesymaspod. That is at Gamesymaspod. Once again, you can find us there. And then you can email us if you guys want to send us any questions that we can post on our socials, or even be featured on our next episode. You can find us at Gamesymaspod@gmail.com. That is Gamesymaspod@gmail.com. So go ahead, check out those socials. Give us a follow, guys. We've been kind of lagging it on the X platform, so we started posting more on that. So give us a follow there if you guys are on X. On Instagram, we have not a big following on there, but we'd love to see those numbers up. So give us a follow on there. You get more content. You get more some behind the scenes footage, some shorts and stuff, as well as on TikTok. If you guys want to follow us on there, that's where we interact with you guys. That's where we talk with you guys. Other than the YouTube comments, we interact with you guys there. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment below on maybe another game that you'd like us to do, a top shelf or yard sale game. We'd love to do that as well. There's a little spiel of our socials. I can't even speak. Our socials. Again, looking forward to seeing you, interacting with you guys well. But let's look at Dinosaur Island or Dino Island. If you're no stranger to the podcast and you've been watching us, first of all, thank you so much for watching and joining us on this episode as well. And if this is your first time, welcome. Welcome to the episode here where we are diving into a board game here today. But as I was saying, if you're not a stranger to this, I'm a big fan of Jurassic Park. We did an episode a couple months back about film scores, and Jurassic Park was the film score for Jurassic Park was on top of my list right there of favorite film scores. John Williams killed it with that movie, that film score. And so, and when we talked about video games, I expressed how I really enjoyed the Jurassic Park games, the Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2, but made by Frontier, I believe. They do such a great like sandbox, like park sim management games. They did it with Planet Coaster, which I spent about like 600 hours shamefully on Steam playing that game, just designing parks because I love to do that. I love designing things. It's so awesome. And so they made Jurassic World Evolution, which was great. But before that, and I'm talking to you, my old school gamers, if you guys remember Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, that game was awesome. That was like one of the OG games that I love playing. That was a good park management game. That was during the Tycoon eras, the Zoo Tycoon eras, and stuff like, and the Roller Coaster Tycoon eras. They had Jurassic Park Operation Genesis back when there was only Jurassic Park 1 through 3. And that game was so much fun. I love that game. Sadly, I'm trying to find it. If you guys know how to find it, like let me know because I had the CDs, the old school CDs for it, and I lost it. I don't know when. I'm so sad about that. You take all of that, everything that you've enjoyed about building your own parks, building, managing your park sim, dinosaur park sim, and managing your dinosaurs, creating dinosaurs, attracting guests, and now put that into a board game. And you have Dinosaur Island, and its expansion, Totally Liquid, and then they actually came out with another standalone game or a sequel, you guess, called Dinosaur World. I guess they were trying to keep in par with Jurassic World, so Dinosaur World. You can see a lot of the similarities, especially with like the rule book that had like the little Mr. DNA explaining some of the rules, which is pretty cool. But Dinosaur Island is such a fun game. It plays from 2 to 4 players, but there is also like a solo mode that you can play on here, which is pretty cool that they added on there. But yeah, 2 to 4 players, and you take on the role of one of 4 corporations that are trying to create your own dinosaur island and be the best Jurassic World-esque or esque park and beat the competition because everyone else is, and you get these really cool boards that you can check out, and each of them have their own little logo and their name on there on the back over here, as you can see. They're really cool designed as well, and yeah, you get to choose one of the 4. You get to choose one of the 4 corporations you can be. You're taking on this role, and you're building up your DNA. You're hiring specialists. You're building new attractions. You can upgrade. You can upgrade your parks with special upgrades, and then you send your workers out to do the work. So it's kind of more of like a park management / worker placement type of board game, if you could say. Very fun, very cool to play. They have 3 modes where you can play. It's a short game, a medium game, or the long game, and that dictates how long the game is going to play. Usually, it plays roughly around maybe an hour and a half if you're playing the short game, and then it could go up to about 2 hours, 2.5 hours if you're playing the long game. And it all depends on how well versed you are with the rules. But I mean, this game's awesome. Like the way it's broken down to playing. It's 6 phases, I believe. I could be wrong. I think it might be 5 or 6 phases where you have phase 1, which is the DNA phase, where you're buying DNA with these awesome, cool-looking dice that you get to roll that will help you boost up your DNA that you need because you need DNA to breed dinosaurs. You can also do other things of like buying dino recipes from that's showing, and then phase 2, which is the market phase, where you're buying specialists, you're buying upgrades, you're even buying DNA if you need some more DNA so you can breed some dinosaurs. And then after the market phase, you have the worker phase, where you're sending your workers to go pretty much improve your park, build up parks, use your upgrades, start breeding dinosaurs. You're sending them, you're managing. That's where the worker placement part happens. And then after the worker phase, you have the park phase, where you open the gates and you're letting your guests in to see who's going to come in. If you have any guests that are, if you have see how many guests are coming in, sorry, and or how many hooligans are coming. Yes, hooligans. We were playing this game. With our good friends Sierra and Marlisa, who are no strangers to the podcast. We had them over and we showed them this game for the first time. They had a fun time playing, and Sierra was getting a kick out of the hooligans. And so you're drawing however many based on your excitement level. Again, I'm just kind of giving you the Spark Notes. Sorry, a quick little skim overview of how you play the game. Again, check out that video where I did my first explanation of the board game of how to play. I dive a little bit more deeper onto these phases and what to do. And then you're going to see, hooligans are the guys that are sneaking into your park and you don't get any money for them. And then the gold patrons are the ones that are coming in, checking out your park, seeing your dinosaurs, your wonderful dinosaurs, or checking out the merch as well, because that's where you make your money from, the merch. And so after you do that phase, it goes on to the cleanup phase where you're picking up everything, you're checking points, you're seeing where it's at, and then the game ends when there's only one left objective out of your objectives, depending on the long game, short game, or the medium game. Um, and then we tally up all the points, and you see whoever has the highest points is the victor. And the ultimate park, Dinosaur Island Park Company, that has created the most successful park, and everyone wants to come to your park, and everyone else doesn't. And then all the other companies are just jealous because you have the best dinosaurs, you have the best park that attracts everybody. And so, a very fun game to play in rounds and phases. Each of the board components has on the main boards, they'll say phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, so you can kind of like follow along so you don't get lost of where you got to focus your attention on. And so it's a very fun game to play, and I enjoyed it. If you guys have it, let me know how like your guys' experience playing it. If this is your first time you're ever hearing about dinosaurs and you love dinosaurs, you love Jurassic Park, you love building your own very dinosaur park, you should check this game out. For sure, I will leave a link again below on the description if you're watching this video, or where if it'll be on the description. If you're listening to it, again, it'll be also in the description of where you can get it. Currently, it is sitting at $41 at Amazon. I believe in Target it was like $60. And so yeah, you can find out. I'll leave a link there so it'll guide you straight to the game and you can buy it. It's a wonderful game. I would highly recommend it. You guys should go check it out. But with all that being said and giving you a little bit of a overview of how to play the game, let's dive deeper into if this game is a top shelf game or a yard sale game. So with further ado, let's go ahead and dive into these questions. Again, a little bit of a recap with these questions. We've developed 8 questions in honor of an 8-sided die, which is my favorite die. I love rolling the 8-sided die. And in order for it to be a top shelf game, it has to get 6 out of the 8 questions. Again, a D6. And so we'll see how well it does. It has to pass 6 or more. So let's go dive into it. So Dino Island. First question is this game easy to pick up and learn? Well, I was thinking about a lot about this one, and kind of like with Betrayal, what we did, I'm going to give it with a no if it's your very first time playing and you have no one to guide you to play these games. If you're just picking this up and you're kind of reading the rule books, it's a lot of information because there's 6 phases, and within those 6 phases, you got to do certain actions like that. After you do a couple, like one whole full round of doing all those 6 phases, and you kind of like pick it up, or maybe a round and a half, you start picking up how to play it. I'm gonna have to go with no. It is not an easy game to pick up and learn because, again, when I was explaining it to Sierra and Marlisa, the way I do it is we do phase 1, and I explain what we do in phase 1, and then we play phase 1. I don't go, you do this in phase 1, and you do this in phase 2, and I don't explain everything all at once. I play it by phase, which I think is the beauty about this game, that you can do that, which is cool because like you can just take it bit by bit instead of giving the whole meal. You just get little bites of the meal, and then you get to savor it. And then after that, we start slowly integrating everything, and then you start. You slowly stop asking those questions. You start just fully playing the game. But as for this question, I'm going to go with no. Again, all these questions are subjective to how I feel, but I'm also trying to see it through the eyes of someone who's never played these type of board games. And so trying to give it to you guys, letting you guys know how these games are, not through like my hardcore board gaming community that I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are probably thinking, oh, this is an easy game to pick up. One of the easier games to pick up. I'm talking to you new board gamers here, to catering to you guys so you guys can let you know. But if you guys differ, if you are a new board gamer and you play this game and maybe this is a yes question, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys disagree or agree with any of these questions. I'd love to hear them, or if you have any suggestions to add to these questions, let me know. I'm always willing to change the rubric and change it as well. But for the first one here, is this game easy to pick up and learn? I'm going to go with no on that one. So we're not looking hot right now with that one. Okay, next question is, does this game have good game components? I want to go with yes. It's not Nemesis type of game components, but it's also not Betrayal game components where they're just like simple little cardboard things. The dice themselves, the DNA dice, are really cool. They're like that amber color, so like kind of like in Jurassic Park where it had that amber and the mosquito and the DNA inside. That was really cool to have. The meeples are kind of your basic meeples, but they're pretty cool for your patrons. I do like the workers. The worker ones are really cool because they're like meeples, but they have the little safari hats, kind of like Muldoon from Jurassic Park. And if you don't know who that is, you probably haven't seen Jurassic Park enough times like I have. But Muldoon is the guy that goes "clever girl," and then the raptor attacks him. So they have like the little Muldoon hat, the little I don't know why I call them a balloon, but it's a little safari hat, which is pretty cool. As for the dinosaurs, they are cool. I like them. Here's my opinion with this. They're really nice because they're little triceratops, the pink triceratops dinosaurs, which is really cool. But that's all the type of dinosaur meeples you get, or little components that you get. They're all the same. They're all going to be triceratops. I think it would have been cool if you had two variations. You had the triceratops to represent the herbivores as well, and then you had like maybe like a T-Rex or like some sort of carnivore to represent the carnivore. Dinosaur would be pretty cool little you know variation. Again, I haven't dived deep into a dinosaur world, so maybe that might have changed. I haven't really like looked deeper into that game. I haven't. I just haven't opened up because I haven't had time because life. And then with the Totally Liquid, it introduces a little bit more of an expansion. But again, the meeple, the dinosaurs are still like that. So they're kind of basic. They're cool to look at, but then you realize they're all the same. You're like, oh, I thought there'd be maybe a little bit, two variations would have been cool. The DNA blocks that you use to spend DNA with are pretty your basic, blocks, but they're really colorful and the material is really nice. So I'm gonna go with yes on this one because it is very different. Even the boards, the way the board's set up and the design of the board is very good, but that's the design question. But the components, yes, because it's a bit different. Some of the even the feel of the upgrades and the cards and stuff. I enjoy it. I really like it. I guess I don't. My only gripe would be I wish the dinosaur components were a little bit different, but I think it has a really good game components. So we'll go with yes on that one. So very good game components. Which segues into I alluded a little bit more to it. Was just, does the game have good game design? I think so. It does. Other than the dinosaur meeples, the dinosaur recipe is really cool. You have the way the dinosaurs look on there. I enjoyed it as well, and the way how you build paddocks and the color design, especially of like the attractions, how they look like, they're pretty cool. Even the specialists look nice. Your boards are look really unique and awesome. I mean, they're all the same, but like the way you're doing upgrades on the scales and your security and your park, how it's set up, is kind of like you're playing a little bit of like not Tetris, but you're kind of like making sure everything fits if you're building a lot. So because you can fill up your whole park and you might not have enough room for anything else, so you're kind of like trying to fit everything in as is. Yes, I'm gonna go with yes. This game does have a good game design. It's really nice to look at, very pleasant, especially even with the dice. Like, look, they look really nice. They're like nice and heavy. So yeah, so good game design. Does this game have good replayability? Um, I'm 50-50 with this one. It's not like, Betrayal, a House on the Haunted Hill. Replayability. And if you're watching this for the first time, you're thinking, why does he keep talking about Betrayal? We started off this top shelf or yard sale segments here for the podcast with Betrayal House on the Hill. Go check out that episode where we talk about my ultimate favorite game, Betrayal House on the Hill, and we decide if it's a top shelf or yard sale game. I'm not going to spoil it. Go check out that video to see what the result is. But a little bit of a preview or a little bit of a recall of that episode. Betrayal House on the Hill has about 50 different ways to play it. So like every time you play it, it'll be different. So that replayability is amazing. With Dinosaur Island, there is some replayability because you can play again with adding twists and changing the game length of the game and the draws. But ultimately, it comes down to the same thing. Every single phase, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and the win conditions are always the same on how you play. It's I'm leaning with yes. I want to say I want to give it a yes replayability, but I'm gonna go with no because there's not enough to make it fresh every time you play. The only thing that would be fresh again is the twist that you add to it or the twist that you play with. I usually don't like playing with twists when it's like first time players. But once you start getting used to the game, then I do more of twists. But yeah, the dinosaurs are always going to be the same unless you're adding the expansion. Then you're adding a little bit more dinosaurs and a whole new different mechanics to the game. You're adding a water part or like little aquatic dinosaurs. But that's with the expansion. If you're just getting the base game, yeah, I feel like it's just more. The replayability for me is not there. Again, subjective. You guys might disagree with that, but I'm gonna go with no replayability with that. As much as it's like a very like high, almost yes. Like not a very deep low. It's like maybe ish, but we'll go though. Maybe I might change my mind. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna go with no. Does this game have a good setup time? So it's funny enough with this one. I was thinking about how we can figure out what's a good setup time. What's a good setup time for these board games here? I'm going to give you the answer now and give you my reasoning. Yes, it does have good setup time because I timed myself setting this game up for a 2-player game. With the 3 or 4-player game, you can add like maybe 10 minutes. But I timed myself, and the conclusion was that it came out to about 22 to 25 minutes just to set up this game for 2 players. And I was setting up for by myself. So if you had other players helping you set up, it goes a little bit quicker. But there's a lot of stuff going on with the phases and things like that. But honestly, it did not take that long. I was surprised. I thought it'd be longer because there's so many components to have, money and setting up the meeples and the cards and the market and everything. But yeah, it only took me about 22, 23 minutes. So yes, it does have a good setup time for me personally, because that's 23 minutes is not bad based compared to these other games that we have where they take like an hour or like half an hour to set up. Yeah, this is I'll take this any day. So yeah, it does have good setup time. Is this game decently priced, or will it break your wallet? For the next question, I kind of said in the very beginning, but in Amazon you can find it for $41, which is a very good, decently priced game. And to remind you guys about what we're scaling on based off decently priced. To buy a really good game or games of this components or with this many components of this nature, I think a decently priced games ranges from about 35. I think it was like 35 to like $70. That's like a good middle ground of a good game that you can get that's decently priced. It won't kill you. $70 is like a little pushing it, but I mean, I think it's okay. 80, 90 and above, yeah, you're like, okay, oof. I might have to save up for this game. But it is going to probably break the wallet, especially if you're adding DLCs or expansions. Sorry, DLCs, video games. But yeah, the component, the expansions. But $41 is not bad on Amazon. On Target, it is $59, so you're going up a little bit on that one, but still within that price range of decently priced. And so yes, I'm gonna go with yes. This is a pretty decently priced board game to have, and yeah. Does it have good game lore? It has like some lore to it, you know, where it's obviously what I explained. You are a corporation and you're trying to make the best dinosaur island that you have, comparing to all your other your competitors. But other than that, that's pretty much it with lore. Like you don't have like why you're building this dinosaur or why it's going on. Like it's just pretty straightforward. And sadly, I'm gonna have to give it a no with this. Like it doesn't have that much good of a game lore. Um, Mainly because yeah, it's just pretty straightforward. Just build dinosaurs and be the best park. There's not like some stories or stuff that are explaining. Maybe you can come up with some stories with like you're hiring your people and what's going on. Dinosaurs are escaping and eating people, but again, that's like the movies. The movies are pretty straightforward. There's a park, dinosaurs get loose, people die because of the dinosaurs. They have to escape. You escape, and that's it. Happy ending. People live. Some people live, some people die. Well, I guess that's not a happy ending, but it's that's how the movies are, and that's how the game is. Pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna go with no because there's not anything deeper to dive into other than again the corporations and how you're trying to be better than everyone else. Dinosaur World could be different. Again, I haven't had a chance to play it, but I'm looking forward to that part and maybe doing a top shelf and a yard sale game for that one. So sadly, I'm gonna have to go with no. No, it is not a good game lore, unfortunately. So let's go with the last question. Does this game have good pacing slash turn time gameplay? Um, it does have a good pacing because you're going through these phases and you're all going it together. The first 2 phases, the market phase and the DNA phase, you're kind of all going, taking turns. So you are kind of waiting on people, but it's a quick turn. You just place your scientists down, you do what you do, next person do it, and until everyone's placed down your scientists or passed. So it is pretty quick. You got to kind of be thinking. Funny thing is, when we were playing with Sierra and Marlisa, Sierra, sorry, I'm giving you a shout out, but not a good shout out. But you did take forever, but you were thinking, which is good. But yeah, Marlisa was like, "Oh, Sierra's taking forever with this turn," because she was thinking of where she wanted to place her scientist. But again, that's part of the game where you kind of have to be strategic on where you want to place your scientists and what you want to get this turn, what's going to affect you. But other than that, once you kind of can figure out like what you want to do as the rounds go, what you're trying to achieve future wise, and so the pacing is pretty quick. The turn time, again, when you get to phase 3, everyone goes at the same time, so you're not waiting on anyone. So you start picking it up a little bit, going quicker, and even with and then when you go to phase 4, when you're drawing the hooligans, that kind of like builds a tension because you're gonna see, or the patrons or the hooligans, you kind of builds a tension of like, oh, how many people are you gonna get? Are they gonna be hooligans? Yes, it minimizes the amount of people I can get whenever I draw people, and lowers the odds of me getting hooligans as more people are getting hooligans before me. And so the gameplay I think is really good. I'm gonna go with yes on that one because it's It does keep you on your toes a little bit. You're kind of figuring out what you got to do, what's going to happen. Did someone steal your dino recipe that you've been wanting? Now you got to adjust and figure out what you can do. What do you got to adjust on your DNA scale tracker to see how much dinosaurs you can build of that nature. What are you upgrading because you want to have more freedoms to do more things. And so, yeah, the gameplay, I believe, is there. Checking our answers now and looking at our answers and our responses here. We're coming down to, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of the 8. My Nerd Familia, this is not a top shelf game. Unfortunately, it did not meet the requirements, the minimum requirements of 6 out of the 8. It only meant 5 out of the 8. So unfortunately, we are giving it our first yard sale game where it belongs in the yard sale because it's not enough to be on your top shelf. But it's a very close one. There was a question, maybe there are 2 that I might have changed, but I'm going to be fair with it with the first time lens of a first time player. The game belongs in the yard sale. Some of you guys might disagree, but according to this rule book that this rubric that we created, yeah, it is a yard sale game. It's very sad because I really love this game. I love playing it. But even also looking back, I've played this game with some friends maybe 3 or 4 times. It's not a game I regularly pull out with people to play because it's the phases can be a little overwhelming sometimes. But I mean, Sierra and Marlisa enjoyed the game. This was the first time playing it, so it was fun. Sierra's itching to get back to playing it. I know Marlisa is too as well. And so, yes, unfortunately, yes, guys, this is a yard sale game. It breaks my heart to tell you guys this, but yes, doesn't mean you guys should not try out this game. Go ahead and try out this game, and let me know. Maybe I could be wrong. You guys are probably gonna yell at me and tell me that I'm wrong about this game. But let me know. Let me know in the comments. That is the beauty of this. It's open to discussion. This is just my opinion. But I believe that yes, based on the questions and looking out from outsiders' perspective, it is a yard sale game. Unfortunately, doesn't mean it's not gonna be on my top shelf. It's gonna definitely be on my top shelf to play. But go ahead and check out that game, guys. Dinosaur Island or Dino Island. Find it on your local board game store. Go check it out on Amazon. It's $41 on there. Again, the link to the game will be on the description. Go ahead and click that link. Buy the game. Check it out. And again, not sponsored by them, but it is a wonderful game to play with. Even with kids old enough to play and they love dinosaurs, they're going to love this game for sure because you're creating your dinosaurs. You're creating a lot of that. So, guys, that will be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and following us along with this rendition of Top Shelf or yard sale. If there's a game that you want me to check out next to give it if it's a top shelf or yard sale game, let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to reading those comments, guys. Let me know what you thought of this game. If you got some cool stories, check it out, and go ahead and also check out my very first playthrough or tutorial of Dinosaur Island. Go check that out. I'll leave in the link below as well to check that out. If you guys are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are, I'll leave a link on there, but it is going to be mainly a video, not a podcast, so you have to go on YouTube to check that out. But yeah, thank you again so much for watching y nos vemos para la próxima.